All right, so this week we're kind of talking about last week's story and how it kind of pertains to this week's stories that we read of how does Carver kind of build off of Cheever's idea in Cathedral. And last week, we read Cheever's The Swimmer, and realistically, what we found there, what I saw was, was kind of this like almost time traveling, kind of not really paying attention to what's going on around you, and kind of just floating through life and not paying attention to all these details, and then before you know it, everything's gone. And I feel like what kind of got built off of that idea, it came in Cathedral with the blind man. In, like I said, in Swimmer, we really saw that the main character, which I cannot remember his name right now. Every time he kind of come out of the pool was like a different time period in his life. It was almost like when he was in the pool, he wasn't paying attention to what was going on around him. He was oblivious to what was going on around him. So what he was doing, he was looking and not really seeing what was happening in his life. And I feel like that kind of bled over into Cathedral. It was a very similar kind of thing that. The narrator kind of felt that when the blind man came, that he was going to almost be superior to him, that I have I'm able to see everything and everything else, or I can look around and everything else, where he can't, and he's almost at a disadvantage. So I kind of feel bad about him, and he's never been around blind people, so he's uneasy, like what can he do, what does he know, that kind of stuff. And I feel like kind of through the story, in the beginning he's kind of standoffish almost, and he's trying to talk when his wife and the blind man are talking back and forth, and he's getting real like short answers, and he's not really giving him a chance, so to speak. And then like after the wife kind of goes to sleep or passes out on the couch, whatever you want to call it, they start talking, and they're talking about the cathedrals that's on the television, and then he's like, oh, draw one, and he's showing him like that he doesn't necessarily have to see to be able to see something, so to speak. So it's kind of like showing him almost that he was doing similar to what the swimmer's doing, like just kind of floating through life, not seeing all these things around him, instead of being like, hey, I'm blind, but I can almost see more than you, that you have vision, but I have almost like a inner vision, so to speak, if that makes sense whatsoever. That's where I kind of felt like that was. And then when you kind of look at Hal and how it kind of goes in a different direction, I feel like Hal really like is more about visionary, so to speak, or like actually looking around and being like, look at all these things that are going around you, and look at how they're being destroyed. And I think it took it away from that seeing and vision and looking, and more going towards the realism of the entire thing.